and Trump approved, and Pompeo said, do it in Taiwan. It's a statement that we care about religious liberty. That's our issue with what China does,
Right.
which is an interesting piece of news people don't know. Well, Sam had come from Hong Kong, and he said, Lance, he said, I was so disappointed. I made a declaration in Hong Kong, and I said, China has declared war against God, and it's a war they cannot win. And there was no support. There was no applause. There was no nothing. The journalists were actually nervous. He said they're under the grip of fear in Hong Kong. And he said, I'm really concerned about Taiwan. I said, well, I'm going to introduce you to the leaders in Taiwan, the intercessors and the business leaders, the professors and the politicians. Let's see where they're at. And I brought him and his representative over, and he told the story to them. And he said to them, is there fear in Taiwan? And they broke out in laughter. And I thought they didn't understand the question. And so I turned with the interpreter. I said, he's asking, is there fear? He says, oh, no. We understand the question, but we do not have fear. There's a spirit, there's an intercessory spirit that is over Taiwan. And I've seen this happen. And that's why when we pray for the president, people don't want to call him the president, say what you want. When you're talking about Joe Biden, you got to know that God controls what kings do. Right. Otherwise, your prayers are useless.
Yeah.
And it's not always praying that they stumble. Sometimes, because listen, they're flying your plane. Doesn't help you when they screw up. It hurts you.
Yeah.
So every now and then I watch them on the policy in Taiwan, and God diverts what they're going to do. So Joe Biden has a script, and the script is, we believe in the one China policy, which is Taiwan and China are connected together. And but here's what he says: oh no, we have a commitment to Taiwan. If something happens, we'll be there. What does that mean? Well, that means that if that they suddenly go nuts because they hear a confession come out that the president of the United States is saying he's going to defend Taiwan. Nancy Pelosi going there, same thing. She goes there and everybody gets all upset. I personally believe it was a perfectly timed provocation.
Because she went really against the wishes of the Biden administration in the fact that she went there.
The Taiwanese, their faith is causing us. Wow. I'm telling you something. Their faith is praying earnestly, and God is overruling America's screw-ups. Where Taiwan is concerned, God's sovereignly using us to keep China's hands off it.
Jimmy?
Well, I totally agree with what Lance is saying. I loved the fact that she went when she went, because China was...
I know, I clapped when I found out she went. I'm like, good for her.
You know, when the devil tells you not to do something, you want to go ahead and do it. And so when China is an anti-God, anti-capitalistic, anti-freedom nation, and the people are precious. And see, when it's like Iran, when you talk about Iran, their leaders are as evil as they can possibly be. The people are precious.
Yeah.
And there's revival going on in Iran.
Yeah.
And so in China, I'm never talking about the people, but that.
Yeah, because the underground church in China is one of the greatest in all the world.
Absolutely, and the people are just as good as they can be. But Xi, the leader there, he is very, very, dictatorial, evil type of person, and through fear, and that's the key word is fear. And then see, what does the devil use? He uses fear.
Yeah.
And so, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And so in the midst of the fear that China is trying to put on them, on Taiwan and others, the only right response is faith. The only right response is to trust in God. So I totally agree. And God is a big God, and he's sovereign over all these circumstances.
All right, Rachel.